This is the WWE Smackdown March 28, 2025 full show results video which takes place at the 02 in London, England. American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes makes his entrance and gets on the mic, says he'll be fighting John Cena at WrestleMania 41 as he tries to break the record and win number 17, but that is WrestleMania, and in just a few nights he'll be face to face with Cena in this very same arena. Then Randy Orton makes his entrance, and says he loves Cody and respects him, but now it's time for WrestleMania and he guarantees he's gonna kick Kevin Owens so hard in the head that he can feel it already. Orton says he knows that Cody is going to leave WrestleMania as champ after beating the holy hell out of John Cena all up and down the Vegas Strip, but after all the smoke clears and dust settles, there's gonna come a time when Randy is gonna want to go after a 15th title of his own. But he won't kick Cody in the balls like a coward. He's gonna look him in the eyes because he loves and respects him and considers him an equal, and he's gonna tell him that he's coming for the title. Then comes Drew McIntyre and says it's not gonna be Randy that takes the title from Cody if he gets through Cena, it's gonna be Drew McIntyre. Cody ducks him, Randy goes for the RKO and Drew bails and gets away. Then we saw a match between Pretty Deadly vs Street Profits for the WWE Tag Team Championship, and the result of this match was Street Profits defeated Pretty Deadly by pinfall with the blockbuster Doomsday Device on Kit Wilson. Backstage we see the Secret Hervice exempling Zelina Vega, Kaden Carter, and Katana Chance, and they find Vega to not be a threat. Zelina doesn't take kindly to that and says she's gonna take the title, and Carter and Chance step up for a tag team match. Back from commercial, we're informed that Bret Hart vs Steve Austin from WrestleMania 13 is being inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. The next match happened between Katana Chance and Kaden Carter vs Alba Fire and Piper Niven, and the result of this match was Secret Hervice won the match by pinfall with a Piper driver from Piper Niven on Kaden Carter. Post-match the heels put boots to the faces, but Zelina Vega makes the save and hits a satellite DDT on Piper. Chelsea attacks her from behind with a forearm, killswitch blocked. Vega sets up her Yoshi Tonic, but Fire makes the save and Niven hits a senton on her to leave Chelsea and the Secret Hervice standing. The next match happened between Braun Strowman vs LA Knight for the WWE United States Championship, and the result of this match was Braun Strowman won the match by disqualification when Jacob Fatu attacks Braun from out of nowhere. Fatu presses his attack on Strowman, clears Knight out, LA returns and eats a pop-up Samoan drop and he's fired up. Ode to Rikishi, a second one, a third, then a double jump moonsault. Back from the commercial, Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga roll up on Jacob Fatu and Sikoa berates Jacob for not calling for help, but he's not having it. Solo tells him to lower his tone and he agrees, but makes it very clear, when it comes to Braun Strowman he's gonna be the last man standing, so you better get in where you fit in, because he's bringing that United States Championship to the family with them or without them. We get a promo video from Naomi where she talks about how she's always been a woman to do the right thing, and what makes Bianca Belair think her attack on Jade Cargill was anything but her doing the right thing? What really breaks her heart is all that she's sacrificed only to be made out to be the bad one in that situation. How did Jade come in out of nowhere and take her place with Belair? She asks Bianca, who has inspired her and always had her back from day one. She's learned through all this that you teach people how to treat you, and she's done with being treated like a third wheel, underutilized and underappreciated. So moving forward, her message to Jade is that if she continues to be in her way, she strongly advises her to proceed with caution. Mia Yim makes her entrance and Naomi attacks her in the ring and lays her out before going after B-Fab and throwing her into the barricade hard. Then Jade Cargill makes the save and Naomi beats a hasty retreat. Then we saw a match between Charlotte Flair vs Mia Yim, and the result of this match was Charlotte Flair defeated Mia Yim by submission with the figure 8. Tiffany Stratton is interviewed backstage and she says Charlotte loves to hear herself talk, but last week she learned that walking into WrestleMania, she's not the one who has something to lose here. If she loses to Charlotte Flair, the legend, with barely a year on SmackDown, but if Flair loses, she loses to a delusional backflipping little girl, in her own words. When she hears the words, and still, maybe Charlotte will finally shut up for everybody, and she's gonna make damn sure Flair's massive ego stays in Vegas and she walks out as WWE Women's Champion. The next match happened between Drew McIntyre vs Randy Orton, and the result of this match was Drew McIntyre defeated Randy Orton by pinfall when Kevin Owens distracted Orton and then McIntyre hits with the Claymore. Post-match, KO takes Orton to the floor and gets him on the announce desk for a piledriver, but Randy slips out and trips him into the desk. Looking for the punt and Owens bails to the crowd and runs away. Back from the commercial we get a Rey Fenix confirming that he retains his name and he debuts next week. The next match happened between Big Jim Uso versus The Miz, and the result of this match was Jim Uso defeated The Miz by pinfall with the diving splash. Post-match, Uso grabs a commentary headset and calls Gunther out for Monday, telling him he's gonna bust him down to Private Gunther and make him salute Big Jim. Drew McIntyre runs into Louis Capaldi backstage and they have a friendly chat, and Drew says he's gonna head out to the pub when he runs into an interview. He says he doesn't care about anybody else's business, and when nobody screws him over, he wins. He called out Damian Priest last week, but he doesn't have the balls to show up, so he's gonna go out drinking. He opens a door and, of course, Damian Priest is on the other side ready to whip ass. Priest smashes him into some guy's car and then choke bombs the guy through a table when he complains. The breather lets Drew come back and he gets Damian on the car, but Priest gouges his eyes and delivered a south of heaven through the windshield. Roman Reigns makes his entrance, flanked by Paul Heyman, and Roman says he came here for 2 reasons: 1, to be acknowledged, and 2, to sign the contract, which he does. Then comes Seth Rollins and says he doesn't know why Roman is in such a hurry to leave, they have such history here. They landed on the roof with a helicopter and put the Undertaker through a table. Roman cuts him off and says, "We died a long time ago and he's been doing all the work to make this place what it is today and take WWE to the level it's on today, making it better than they found it." Rollins tells Roman let CM Punk into the Garden and he could have cut his head off at War Games, but he shook his hand, and now Seth is left to do what he always does, clean up his mess again. Rollins signs the contract. Then comes CM Punk, and says he has come here to chew bubblegum and sign a contract and, of course, he's all out of bubblegum. He sits down and promptly opens the contract and looks over it. Roman asks if he needs a highlighter and tells him to just go to page 4, this is TV, and asks Paul Heyman to wise him up. Heyman goes over and says it's in there, he's going on last, it's the main event, he gets his dream to main event Wrestlemania, and he kisses Punk on the head. Rollins throws a fit about it because Punk doesn't deserve it. Punk stands up and wipes a tear from his eye and thanks London and Chicago and Louisville, Kentucky and the fans in general. Reigns says the only person Punk should be thanking is him, it's because of him that he's in the main event. Punk considers his demand for a long beat, gets on one knee, a smirk plays across his face, and he thanks his tribal chief, the head of the table, the big dog. He thanks Roman for allowing a kid from Chicago to be graced by his presence and to stand in his ring, and he'll see him in the main event of WrestleMania. Punk signs the contract while Seth looks like he's about to erupt and thanks Reigns again and says that's not the favor he's owed before he drops the mic and the show goes off the air. How much you would rate this week's SmackDown show? Please tell me in the comments. Do not forget to subscribe the channel. Stay tuned with the channel for the further update and videos, and thanks for the watching.